all of you, welcome. So, in the last video lecture, we have discussed about the machine instructions and addressing mode, the concept, right? So, in this video lecture, we are going to solve the previous gate problems and practice problems on the same concept, machine instructions and addressing modes. So, before seeing this video lecture, you are advised to see the concept of concept explained in video number 28, digital circuits, right? Then you come back to this video. Okay, then it is easy to understand. So let us solve the previous gate problems, right? Practice problems on this concept, machine instructions and addressing modes. And one more request is, so when a problem comes, right, you pause the video and solve first on your own, right? Then for the answer you run the video, right, and get the concept, right? So in that way you will get full practice. Okay, so anyway, let us start the practice problems on this concept, that is machine instructions and addressing modes. Yeah, practice problems. Let us see the first problem. A machine with the expanding opcode technique has 16-bit instructions. That means each instruction size is given, the instruction format is 16-bit, and 6-bit addresses are given. Okay, because instruction format consists of what? Opcode and addresses. Okay, it supports one address as well as two address instructions. This data is given. Okay, if there are 10 two address instructions are given, then determine the maximum number of one address instructions. Okay, so he has given that the CPU supports two address as well as one address. Two address 10 instructions are there, 10 two address instructions are there. Then if you go to one address instruction, then how many maximum number of instructions are possible? See this two address instruction, if you write, because one address is given, two address is given, first you need to write the large instruction, because he has given 10 two address instructions. That's why first write two address instruction looks like this. Okay, total he has given 16-bit instruction format. That's why 16-bit total instruction size, and then each address is 6-bit he has given. That's why address 1 and address 2 each 6-bit and 6-bit. Okay, two address instruction format, right? 6-bit 6-bit, two addresses are there, and the remaining bits are opcode bits. How many bits remain? Total 16 he has given, and 6-bit 6-bit. Okay, the 6 plus 6 12, so 16 minus 16 total bits minus 12 bits, that equal 4 bits for opcode bits. So you need to write here 4 bits. This information he has given. You see two address instructions, right? So opcode is a 4-bit. So originally, how many instructions this CPU can support if it uses a two address instruction? So number of operations equal to 2 power opcode, right? 2 power 4. 2 power 4, that is 16 instructions. 16 instructions are possible, maximum, right? Because 2 power 4 equal to 16 instructions are possible. So but he has given how many two address instructions are there? 10. Okay, so 10 two address instructions are given. Then how many free opcodes? Total 16 possible, and 10 two address already is there. Then 16 minus 10, 6 free opcodes are there. That means 6 instructions, right? 6 instructions, operation codes, or 6 instructions we can call it. These many instructions are free. Okay, what we have done, whatever the given information, we have written this two address instruction, and total 16 instructions are possible by using this two address instruction. And then number of free opcodes 16 minus 10, because 10 already two address instructions are given, so 6 free are there. Now if you go to one address instruction format, okay, then we need to find out how many maximum number of one address instructions, right? See, one address instruction is only one address is there here, 6-bit, and the remaining all is 10-bit opcode, because this 6-bit also added to this opcode, so total 10-bit because single address, right? So now how many instructions? Actually 2 power 10, because originally this is 2 power 10, that is 1 kilo instructions are possible, but already there are 10 two address already instructions are there, and then free only 6, so free opcodes. Now number of one address instruction possible equal to free opcodes into 2 power how many address expanded, 6-bit is added, right? That's all. 6 into 2 power 6, that is 384. So only thing you need to remember is the number of one address instruction possible, the expanding opcode technique is free opcodes into how many bits increased, that is 2 power address lines. 2 power this 6-bit is increased now. Previously it is 4-bit, now it is 10-bit, because this 6-bit is added. So that free opcodes already from here, free opcodes are 6, okay, 6 into 2 power 6. This 6 is how we got the number of the bits increased. Previously it is 4-bit, now it is 10-bit, so 6 bits increased. So free opcodes into 2 power the number of bits expanded, that is called 384 instructions, one address instructions are possible. Let us solve one more problem. Yeah, a computer system supports one address and two address instructions, and the word size is 16-bit. As the previous problem, it is also 16-bit word size, and it supports one address and two address. Now main memory is 64 words. That means what is the address bits if the memory is 64 words, okay, and each instruction size is 16 bits, right? Word means here it is 16 bits, right? So 64 words, how many bits to locate the main memory of 64 bits? So 2 power 6 equal to 64. So the address size is 6-bit here, right? That is the data given. Then he asked that if there are 8, previously 10 address 2 address instructions are there, now in this problem 8 is given, okay. Then how many one address instructions are used? Now pause the video and do it on yourself, and then run the video to get the answer. Yeah, two address instructions, because he has given 8 two address instructions. First we need to write two address format, okay. Two address instruction looks like this, it is 16-bit. How, why you have written 16-bit here for the instruction format? The word size is 16-bit, word size is 16-bit, so the instruction format 16-bit, and from this data 64 words, then the address length is 6-bit, address 1 and address 2, because two addresses are there. In the two address instruction format, two addresses are there, 6-bit and 6-bit each, okay, because 2 power 6 equal to 64 words from this. Now the address lines are 6-bit, so for that reason I have written 6-bit and 6-bit. So now what is the opcode size? 16-bit minus 12, that is 4-bit for the opcode. This is the two address instruction from the given information. Now by looking into this, how many number of operations originally it's possible? 2 power 4 opcodes, and that many instructions, right? 2 power 4 equal to 16 instructions, that is two address instructions are possible. Now in the problem he has given 8 two address instructions, right? So how many number of free opcodes are there? Total 16 minus already given 8, so 16 minus 8, 8 free opcodes are available, or 8 free instructions are available. So now if the same converted to this single address, where the 6-bit single address is there, remaining all bits are opcode bits. So now previously it is 4-bit, now it is 4 plus 6, 10-bit. Now the number of one address instruction possible equal to, what is the formula we remember? Free opcodes into how many address lines increased, right? So free opcodes 8 into 2 power this previously 4, now it is 10-bit, So 6 bits are increased. So free opcodes into 2 power 6, that is 512 one address instructions are possible. So in this way the opcode expand technique is used. This is very important. Okay, we'll solve one more problem previously asked gate problem where this opcode bits reduced. Now in this problem it is increased. If it is reduced, now suppose 4 bit, now it is reduced to 2 bit for example, then free opcodes divide by that is the only thing. Free opcodes divide by 2 power how many bits decreased, then you will get that many extra instructions are possible, right? So this is the only technique. If opcode bits are increased, then into 2 power that many bits increase 2 power, right? If the opcode bits are decreased, divide by we need to take. That is the only point you need to remember in the opcode expanding technique. And let us solve one problem where these opcode bits are reduced. This problem asked in GATE 2020 for 2 marks. Let us understand this problem. A processor has 64 registers. By looking into this, to address 64 registers, how many address length bits, how many bits are required? 2 power 6. 2 power 6 equal to 64 bit, 64 registers, right? Now what is address line? 6 bit. Address field is 6 bits. Now when information given, now it uses 16-bit instruction format. The total instruction length is 16 bits. There is one more information is given. It has two types of instructions, I type as well as R type. Yeah, previously 2 address instructions and 1 address instruction problem we solved. Instead of 2 address and 1 address, now he has given I type and R type. Okay, so each I type instruction contains an opcode and register name and 4-bit immediate value. That means total 16 bit. In that an opcode is there, one register is there, 6 bit, because this whenever register is there, it is 6 bit address and 4-bit immediate value is there. That means 6 bit plus 4 bit, that is 10 bit, total 16 bit, opcode size is 6 bit, right? Now each R type instruction contains one opcode and 2 address names. Okay, 2 address, that means 6 plus 6, 2 address, and then opcode, that time it is 4 bit only in the R type. Now this information is given. This is same as previous. Okay, we can write. So now the question is, if there are 8 distinct I type opcodes, I type total 8 instructions are given, then maximum number of R type opcodes. Now I type and R type, now opcodes are reduced. Now let us see, let us solve the problem. So he has given 8 distinct I type opcodes. So that's why first you need to write the I type instruction. Looks like this. Total 16 bit, because it is 16 bit instruction format. 16 bit we need to write, and I type consists of opcode and register name and 4-bit value. That means opcode, register name, and immediate value of 4 bit. This is 4 bit already information given. This is 6 bit because total 64 registers are there. That time it becomes a 6 bit, because 2 power 6 equal to 64. That many address lines are required to select one of the register from the 64 registers. Now this information is given. Now to calculate this 6 bit, total 16 minus 6 plus 4, 10, that is equal to opcode bits are 6, right? This is 6 bit we need to write. This information is given. Now by looking into this, how many instructions are possible? I type total number of operations equal to 2 power opcode, that means 2 power 6, that is total 64 instructions are possible. Now how many already given? This is 8 distinct I type opcodes are given. Then how many free opcodes from this? That is 64 minus 8 already given. So 56 instructions are free here. So that 56 you have to take. Now R type instruction possible. In the R type instruction, okay, 16 bit we need to write here the same. And in the R type, what are the fields are there? In the R type instruction consists of opcode as well as two address names. Now two address means each 6-bit as well as 6-bit. So how many opcode bits are there? 16, total 16 minus 6 plus 6, because two address names are there, two address names, two address both are registers. So 6 bit, 6 bit, so 12. So how many opcode bits are left? 4 bits, 4 bit opcode. This is 4 bit. Now by looking into this opcode and this opcode, okay, previously it is 6 bit, now it is 4 bit. How many bits are reduced here? 2 bits are reduced. So it is the opcode bits are reduced. That's why what is the expanded opcode technique? R type instruction possible equal to free opcodes. Now it is divided by 2 power 2. Now it divide by 2 power 2. So 56 by 4, 14 I type instructions are possible. What is the conclusion here? Total here 64 I type. So free opcodes are 56. Now R type instruction possible equal to free opcodes divided by how many bits reduced from here to here? 2 bits reduced, 6 to 4. So that is divided by 2 power 2, that is 14 R type opcodes are possible. So this is very easy technique. So if the opcode bits are increased, free opcodes into 2 power on that address lines. If the opcode bits are reduced, that is free opcodes divided by 2 power address lines. Let us see the previous gate problem, fourth one. A machine has 32-bit architecture, right? Total, if you see here from here to here, it is 32-bit. Each instruction format according to given information, it is 32-bit architecture with one word long instructions. This total 32-bit is one word, he is telling. So it has 64 registers. 64 registers in the sense, right? This is the register operand 1. Okay, 64 means 64. That is 2 power. How many address lines are required to select one of the register? 2 power 6 equal to 64. So 6 bits address field for the register operand 1. This is 6 bit. This is also 6 bit. Okay, and each of which is 32 bits long. Okay, because it's already given 32 bit long. It needs to support 45 instructions, right? Now 45 instructions means what is the opcode length? Okay, how many bits are required in the opcode field to select 45 instructions? See here, 2 power 4 is 2 power 4 is 16, 2 power 5 is 32. 5 address lines are not enough because 45 instructions are there. So that's why we need to go for 6. There is 64, right? So we can easily select 45 instructions. So our address length is 6 bit. So here we need to write 6 bit. So 6 plus 6 plus 6, how many? It is 12 and 18. 18 already is over. Now what is this length immediate operand? Assuming that the immediate operand is an unsigned integer. Unsigned means what? Unsigned means there is no sign, negative numbers, all the positive numbers only. Okay, the maximum value of the immediate operand. Here how much maximum value we can give, that is the question. Generally by looking into this, then how many bits here? Total 18, total 32 here. So 32 minus 18, this equal to 14 bits, right? 14 bits are left. So this is 14 bits. Using this 14 bits, how much maximum value is asked? So 2 power 14, how much? Okay, 2 power 10 equal to 1k, that is 1024. 2 power 11 is how much? 2048. 2 power 12 is how much? 2048 plus 2048, much? 16. This is 8 9 0 4 4096. Now we need to find out 2 power 13. 4096 plus 4096 how much? 12, 18 plus 9, 1, 8. Now this is 8192 and 2 power 14 equal to how much? 8192 plus 819 doubles. Every bit it doubles. This is 4, 9 plus 9 it is 18. Okay, and this is 3 and 8 plus 8 16. 16384 maximum 16384. Okay, 16384. See, this 16384 is not there in the options. He is asked the maximum value. That means if it is 14 bit, 2 power 14, how many operands are possible? 16,384. That means 0 to 16,383. Together it is called as 0 to 16,383. Okay, together it is 16,384. Now what is the answer here? The minimum value is 0, maximum value is 16,383. So 16,383, option A is correct. Okay, what is the conclusion here? This information is given 32 bit, this information is given, this information is given, and opcode, this information also given. It is 6 bit is derived from 45 instruction. It is derived, right? So now we 32 minus this 18, this 14 we got. He asked what is the maximum number. So 2 power 14 equal to 16,384 we got. So what is the maximum value in that? 0 to 16,383. This is the minimum value and this is the maximum value in this number. So this is the option A is correct. Maximum is 16,383. This 6 bit, 6 bit, 6 bit and 14 bit, that is immediate operand. So 2 power 14 is 16,384. In that minimum number is 0, maximum number is 16,383. So hence option A is correct. This question is asked in GATE 2015 for 1 mark. For computers based on 3 address instruction formats, each address field can be used to specify which of the following: S1, the memory operand; S2, a processor register; S3, an implied accumulator register. Option A, either S1 or S2, that means memory or register. Option B, either S2 or S3, that means a memory or accumulator register, implied accumulator. Option C, S2, S3. Option D, all of S1, S2, S3. So generally 3 address instruction format, one opcode is there and 3 addresses are there. So those addresses we have seen that it is memory operand. Okay, the operand may be from memory address, the operand may be in the register, that's all. So single accumulator, that is implied accumulator, will be useful in 1 address instruction only. Okay, 3 address instructions only, the memory operand and a processor register. Okay, so if you go to 1 address, then accumulator concept will come. Okay, by default accumulator is there. Okay, so previous that is video number 28, the concept is explained with examples, right? So here option is either S1 or S2. Option A is correct. See here 3 address instructions. Let us say add R1 comma R2 comma R3. Here the accumulator concept will not come. So R2 plus R3, the result is stored in R1. The result is stored in R1. So R2 plus R3, the result is stored in R1. So it requires the address field. Okay, address 1, address 2, address 3. So in the 3 address instructions, one opcode is there, 3 address fields are there, which is related to memory or register. Okay, so hence option A is correct. This question asked in GATE 2017. Okay, for 2 marks. Let us see, consider a RISC mission, reduced instruction set computer machine, where each instruction is exactly 4 bytes long. Each instruction is 4 bytes. Okay, conditional and unconditional branch instructions use PC relative addressing mode. That means the branch instruction is nothing but it jumps to one location to other location by using PC relative addressing mode. That means whatever the PC address, that offset will be added to jump, right? So with offset specified in bytes to the target location of the branch instruction. Further, the offset is always with respect to the address of the next instruction in the program sequence. Consider the following instruction sequence. So instruction 1, some add operation. Instruction 2, some subtraction operation. Instruction 3, that is some compare operation. Instruction 4, that is a branch instruction. BEQ means branch if equal. This instruction, let us say the address is 0, okay, because this instruction will take 4 bytes, then the next address is 4, I plus 2, instruction 2, okay, that is 8 plus 4, once again this is 12, and this after execution of this instruction, okay, then it is 12 plus 4, that is 16. From this he has given that if the target of the branch instruction is I, so from here to this instruction we need to branch. So 16, from 16 how many decimal value, how much decimal value we need to reduce? So 16 minus 16 will get 0, so that it correctly jumps. So from this value minus 16 if you subtract, then directly it jumps to 0. So minus 16 is the answer. This question is asked in GATE 2016, right? A processor can support maximum memory of 4 gigabytes where the memory is word addressable, okay? He has given bytes, but it is word addressable, right? A word consists of how many bytes? 2 bytes he has given. The size of the address bus of the processor is at least how many bits we need to find out. Generally 4 gigabytes, how many bits are required? 2 power 30 equal to 1 giga, generally we know. 2 power 31 equal to 2 gigabytes. 2 power 32 equal to 4 gigabytes, we know already, right? Because one thing you remember is 2 power 10 equal to 1k, 2 power 20 is 1 mega, 2 power 30 is 1 giga, 2 power 40 lines, address lines is 1 terabytes, we know. So from this knowledge we have taken 2 power 30 equal to 1 giga, but 4 gigabyte is given actually. So 2 power 32 lines, 32 lines, 32 address lines required to locate 4 gigabytes, actually we know. But he has given this 4 gigabyte, it is a word addressable. That means each location will take 2 bytes at a time. That means total how many words are there? 4 gigabytes divided by 2, that is 2 giga words. So to select 2 giga words, how many address lines are required? 2 giga means 31. So our answer is 31. Maximum memory is given 4 gigabytes, but it is word addressable, right? Maximum memory in terms of words, so 4 giga words means 2 power 31. So 31 bits is the answer. See here, a CPU has 24-bit instructions. 24-bit instruction. That means instruction size is 24. A program starts at location 300 in decimal. Which one of the following is a legal program counter? All values in decimal. So what is the purpose of this program counter? So program counter is used to hold the address of the next instruction to be fetched from the memory. Okay. So this program counter increases, right, or increments for every instruction fetch. Suppose if the instruction is fetched 1 byte, it increments by 1 automatically. Okay. If the instruction fetched is 2 bytes, it automatically increments 2 bytes for every instruction fetch. So that is the purpose of program counter. Okay. Now 24-bit instruction are given. Then how many bytes here? For every instruction, how many bytes each instruction? 3 byte, because 8 bit 8 bit 8 bit, total 24, so 3 byte. That means program counter increments, okay, 3 bytes. That means program counter increments for every instruction 3 locations, because each instruction is 3 byte. 24 bit instruction format requires 3 byte instruction, right? So program counter increments every fetch instruction 3 byte. So if the program, he has given that program started at address 300 location, okay, 300 location instructions are there. Now next instruction is 303, next instruction is 306, like that every 309, 312, like that. Which is the legal, okay, program counter, 400 or 500, 600, 700? So while incrementing 3, that means if you take this one, divide by 3, the remainder should be 0, then only it is legal, okay. So if you take 400, if you divide by 3, so it is not legal, remainder will come. If you take 500, it is not legal. If you take 600, then 600 divided by 3, remainder is 0, so that's why this is legal program counter. Let us see the answer. Yeah, each instruction is 24 bits, so 3 bytes long. That means the address point to the next instruction should be divided by 3. Therefore option C is correct. This is the common data. Before going to question 9 and 10, consider the following program segment for a hypothetical CPU having 3 user registers, R1, R2, R3. Here some program is given, move R1 comma 5000. What is the meaning of this? 5000 memory location, some data is there, the data is moved to R1, which takes 2 words. Move R2 comma R1 brackets, that means R1 consists of some address. In that address, okay, it is indirect addressing mode, okay. Anyway, R1 consists of some address, in that address some data is there, that data is moved to R2, it takes 1 word, okay. And add R2 comma R3, that means R2 plus R3, that is moved to R2 only, destination register, and it takes 1 word. Move 6000 comma R2, that means whatever the R2 result is moved to 6000 location to the memory, right? It takes these 2 words. And halt, machine halts, it takes 1 word. So this program is given, and we go for question number 9, what he asked. Now consider that the memory is byte addressable, okay, with word size of 32 bit, okay, and the program has been loaded starting from memory location 1000. Program starts from 1000 decimal value location. If an interrupt occurs while the CPU has been halted after executing the halt instruction, the return address in decimal saved in the stack will be. He asked that at this halt there is an interrupt occurs, okay. So interrupt occurs means after this execution of halt, okay, it goes to interrupt service routine by copying the next address. This is the return address. Suppose if you assume this is the main program total, after halt instruction there is an interrupt, then this is the return address. So he asked that what is this value. So the starting address he has given is 1000, okay, from 1000, and also he has given the information 2 words. 2 words means how many bytes, okay, each word size is 32 bits. That means each word 32 bits means how many bytes, and it is given, it is a byte addressable, it is byte addressable. So 32 bits means 4 bytes. 8 bits, 8 bits, 8 bits, 8 bits, 4 bytes. So it is 2 words means how many bytes? 4 plus 4, total 8. So what is the next location of the next address? It is 1000 plus 8, that is 1008, because 2 words. Now the next instruction is one word, that's why 4 bytes. That means 1008 plus 4, that is 1012. This add instruction has given the information one word, that means 4 bytes. So 1012 plus 4, that is 1016. And also this move 6000 comma R2 has given this is two words. So 2 words means how many bytes we need to add for this to 1016? 2 words means 8 bytes. 4 plus 4, 8 bytes. So 1016 plus 8, that is 1024. And he has given halt instruction is one word, that means 4 bytes we need to add. So 1024 plus 4, 1028. This is the return address 1028. Option D is correct. Let the clock cycles required for various operations be as follows. Okay. So some clock cycles for each operation, sub operation, like a register to or from memory takes 3 clock cycles, and add instruction in the given program, add instruction with both operands in register will take 1 clock cycle, and instruction fetch and decode, it takes 2 clock cycles. Total number of clock cycle are required to execute the program is, okay. So he has given some information, memory reference reading or writing, okay, 3 clock cycles it will take. Add instruction, it will take 1 clock cycle. Instruction fetch of every instruction, okay, 2 clock cycles it will take, fetch and decode. And he asked that the total number of clock cycles required to execute the given program. Let us see. So let us see the first instruction, move R1 comma 5000. This is the memory related operation, okay. And it has taken 2 words he has given already in the program. So to fetch this, there are 2 words, okay. That means 2 times we need to fetch. 2 times we need to fetch 2 words. So one fetch and decode operation will take 2, because here 2 words are there. The fetch, it takes 2 plus 2, it is 4. And that is fetch the instruction. After fetching the instruction, then we need to, the CPU has to go to memory and read the operation. So how many clock cycle to read the data from this location? So registered 2 or from memory takes 3. So plus 3. Okay, total 7. So the conclusion is first instruction is move R1 comma 5000 means 5000 is the direct address. It is a direct addressing mode. That means 5000 location data CPU will read and store in R1. So actually CPU has to fetch this instruction first. That means 2 words it is instruction size. 2 times it needs to fetch. So that's why for fetch instruction it takes 2. So 2 plus 2, 4 it takes. And once again, after fetching the instruction, it has to execute the instruction. What is the execution of this instruction? Reading the data. Go to memory and read the data. For reading the data, it takes 3 clock cycles. So 4 plus 3, it takes 7. Coming to second instruction, move R2 comma brackets R1. That means again it is a memory reference operation. Whatever R1 consists of address, in that address the memory data is there. That data needs to bring to R2. That means first it has to fetch this instruction. It is a one word. So for fetch and decode the operation, it takes 2 clock cycles. That means fetch operation 2 clock cycles, and it is a memory read once again. So that's why for memory read it takes 3. So 2 plus 3, it is 5 it takes. And third instruction, it is a one word. For fetching these 2 clock cycles are required. And add operation, see here, add operation, how many clock cycles? It is 1 clock cycle. So 2 plus 1, it is 3. Now coming to fourth instruction, it is also memory reference operation, and it is a two-word instruction. To fetch these two words, 2 plus 2, 4 for fetch, and it is a write operation. Memory read or write has given 3 clock cycles, so 4 plus 3, it is 7. Now coming to last instruction, halt, it is a one word, it is only fetching operation. So fetch, it takes 2 clock cycles. So together 7 plus 5 plus 3 plus 7 plus 2, that is 24 clock cycles are required. Option B is correct. This question asked in again 2015 for 2 marks. It is related to the stack memory, right? So very easy. Okay, within seconds you can do. Let us observe this problem. Consider a processor with a byte addressable memory. Okay, bytes only for every byte operation memory. Okay, assume that all registers, including program counter PC, program status for PSW, are size 2 bytes. Okay, a stack in the main memory is implemented from memory location 010016. So a stack memory is there. Okay, assume this is a stack. Okay, start from 0100H. 16 indicates that hexadecimal value. This is H, you can write 0100H. So in the stack memory, first operation is nothing. Okay, for every push operation, let us say this is stack memory. For every push operation, it increments by 2 and stores. Okay, because why I told increment, the stack in the memory is implemented from memory location this one, and it grows upwards. Okay, that means to store in this value, to push the, some elements into the stack, it increments by 2 and store, increment by 2 and store, increment by 2, store, like that. While popping, take the value and decrement, so it grows upwards. Okay, right. So this information is given, and one more information is given. The stack pointer points to the top of element of the stack. Okay, the current value of SP is 016E hexadecimal. That means let us say 016E is the top of the stack. This is a stack pointer SP points always. Now current value is this one. So SP stack pointer always points to the top of stack. Now this information is given. Now the question is, the call instruction is of 2 words. The first word is the opcode and the second word is the starting address of the subroutine. That is 2 bytes. The call instruction is implemented as follows. Okay, store the current value of PC in the stack. Okay, store the value of PSW register in the stack. Load the starting address of the subroutine in PC. So that is nothing but the call instruction. Suppose this is the main program, right? Suddenly there is a call instruction L1. It starts from here. Okay, that means we are calling some subroutine. It jumps to directly L location. So before jumping to this, it will remember the next address, whatever the PC value. This is the PC value address. Okay, the next line address it remembers in the stack memory. That is the point here. Store the current value of PC in the stack. That is return address. And store the value of PSW register in the stack. And before jumping to this, PSW also, that is program status for, that is flag register, it also store in the stack. Then loading the starting address of PC, subroutine in PC. So this L1 value, once PC is loaded with L1, directly it jumps to this one. That is the call instruction concept. The question here is, the content of PC just before the fetch of a call instruction is, this is 5FA0. Suppose 5FA0. Before executing this call instruction is, this is the 5FA0 PC value. Okay. Now call instruction, how many locations a call instruction is of? two words. First word is opcode, and the second word is starting address of the subroutine. Two words means that is 4 bytes, right? That means what is the return address? 5FA4. Okay, this is the return address. So store the current value of PC in the stack. That means the current value after execution of this 5FA4. That means current value of SP is 016E, and how it stores this 5FA4 return address in the stack, that is the first operation. So it increment by 2 and store. That means 016F and 6F plus 1, how much? 70. Okay, these two value, two addresses it increments and store the return value. That means here it stores AF, A4 and 5F. This is the return address. So current value of PC that is stored in the stack. Now SP points where? SP is now points here, because current value before call instruction 016 is the SP value, stack pointer. Okay, this is total stack memory. Okay, it increments by 2 and store PC value. Now what is the next operation? Store the value of PSW. That means flag register low, flag register high, both will be stored in the stack. How it stores? Next two locations, right? So it is increment by 2 and store. That means 0171, this one, 0172 is this location. So PSW low, PSW high. This is the PS value, PSW. That means this is the first value of PC is loaded here and value of PSW loaded here. Now the starting address of the subroutine in PC. That means this value, whatever the subroutine address, it moves to PC, so that it starts from this location L1. That means execution of this subroutine program. And anyway, it is at the end of the subprogram there is a return instruction that is not given. So this operation, putting this L1 in PC will not affect this one, because that is not related to this stack memory. Only thing is these two. Okay, pushing the value of current value of the return address in the stack like this, and PSW, that means flag register low, flag register high, it is storing. Now he is asking that after execution of the call instruction, the value of the stack pointer is, so the value of stack pointer is now presently it always points to the top of stack. So present value is this one, that is 0172. 0172 is the answer. So here current value is 016E, and this always it is increment SP by 2 and stores, right? To store the PC value, current value, it is 016E plus 2, 0170, and to store the PSW 0170 plus 2, that is 0172. Okay, the load of starting address of the PC, the load operation does not change the SP value. So that is PC, that is not related to stack memory. So now the current value is this one only. The answer is this one. Okay, option D is correct. Yeah, let us see this question. The match the following, right? Add R1 comma R2 comma R3. This is the 3 address instruction, right? Directly we know that it may be 3 address instruction, or all the registers are there. Okay, all the registers are there. So it may be a risk instruction set. Okay, anyway, coming to the second one, move 300 comma 200 is the memory addresses. So it is directly 2 address, we know, because 2 addresses are there. Now load 2000. What is the meaning of this instruction? 2000 location, some data is available in the memory. That data it is loaded to accumulator. Okay, accumulator is default here That's why it is one address instruction. And if we observe this one, multiply 2000 comma 2020 2040, that means these two locations, the data multiplied, the result is stored in 2000 location. So now it is 3 address instruction. Now it is 3 address instruction. Okay, now the left is this one, because a lot of registers are there. Okay, it is a RISC processor instruction, right? So let us see the answer. This is 2 address, this is 1 address, this is the RISC, and this is 3 address. So list 1, list 2, we need to match here. 0 address instruction, find out in this. Yeah, 0 address instruction means is which uses top of stack. Okay, stack memory. So this is compulsory. TOP means top of stack. Okay, that is related to 0 address. Okay, no addresses are there in this, only top of the elements in the stack memory, that is operation will be done in the stack, top of stack. Okay, 1 address instruction, find out in this. Yeah, 1 address instruction consists of accumulator by default. So accumulator equal to accumulator minus x, some subtraction operation is done, that is result is by default it is accumulator, right? So that is 1 address instruction. 2 address instruction is, see here, this check out here, y plus y equal to y plus x, that means y is some address, x is some address, it is added, the result is stored back in y only. So it is 2 address instruction. Now let us see 3 address instruction. See here, y equal to a minus b, a is one address, b is one address, and result y is also one more address. So total 3 addresses are there. Here these two are same, so that is 2 address instruction, result is stored in the same given register. But here 3 address, 1 address, 2 address, 3 address, so it is 3 address instruction. So let us see the answer. This is 0 address instruction, this is 2 address, this is 1 address, and this is 3 address instruction. Okay, this is all about the practice problems. Okay, previous problems on the concept of machine instructions and addressing modes, right? So here the programming is important, and then opcode expanding technique is important. Like that, these all concepts. Expected question is there. Please practice, and kindly refer to your friends also. And thank you, friends. In the next video, we're going to very important concept, a very easy concept, right? Easily you will get 2 marks from pipelining technique. Okay, instruction pipelining concept we are going to discuss, and lot of problems, very easy problems. Easily you will score 2 marks. From that, there is an expected question from the instruction pipelining also. Okay, let us wait for the video, and thank you, friends. Bye.